Want to call your next witness?
Sure. State will call John Hetchin. Hetchin.
Good morning. Are you John Hetchin?
Yes, sir.
Welcome. This is our witness stand. Come on up here for a second. When you get there, just remain standing. Raise your right hand and be sworn.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you should give in this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Better.
Please state your full name for the record.
Full name is John Hetchin,
Please spell your first and last name.
John, and last name is Hettchen. Yep.
Have a seat. That microphone in front of you will not move back or forth. The forth, it just goes up or down. Just up or down.
Yes, sir.
You all set?
Yes, sir.
Counsel, you may.
Thank you. Good morning, Officer Hetchin. How are you today?
Good morning, Harry.
Very well, thank you for asking. Where do you work?
I'm currently employed with Boca Raton Police Department.
How long have you worked for the Boca Raton Police Department?
Going on 4 years.
What hats have you worn at Boca?
When I first started, I was assigned to road patrol, and now I'm assigned to their tactical team.
Prior to joining the Boca Raton Police Department, have you had any other law enforcement experience?
Yes, with Miramar Police Department.
How long were you with the Miramar Police Department?
A little over 2 years.
Can you describe to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury the type of training and education you had before becoming a police officer with Miramar?
Yes, I went through the academy. Did 6 months in the academy. Once I got out of the academy, did 3 to 4 months on FTO with Miramar Police Department, and then throughout my time with them, we had in-service training, which is additional training, on top of all that.
Any particular reason for switching to the Boca Raton Police Department?
Just personal reasons.
Back on October 26th of 2018, were you employed by the Miramar Police Department?
Yes.
What was your job description?
Road patrol.
Do you remember what shift you were working?
Yes, night shift.
And can you describe to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what is the alpha or night shift?
Night shift, called midnights. I worked from 9 p.m. to 7 in the morning.
On October 26th of 2018, did you have an occasion to respond to Memorial Miramar Hospital?
Yes.
Why did you go there?
That was my assigned zone for the night. So I responded to that.
If you can explain to the ladies and gentlemen what you mean by assigned zone.
Each officer is assigned a zone for a specific area in the city. And Memorial Regional, or Miramar Memorial, happened to be my zone.
Do you recall about what time you arrived at the hospital?
Around 4:30 in the morning.
When you arrived, what did you see?
When I got there, I saw an SUV in the Sallyport area of the entrance of the hospital, the emergency bay. The doors were open to the vehicle. So I got out of the vehicle. I immediately saw hospital staff running back and forth to the vehicle. So I went over to assist them. When I got to the vehicle, I saw 2 victims, one in the right passenger seat, one in the back right passenger seat, appeared to be suffering from gunshot wounds. So what I did is assist hospital staff with quickly getting them to the stretcher and into the hospital to receive medical treatment.
After you did that, what was your job assignment there at the hospital?
After that, I stayed by the vehicle. At that point, we had a crime scene. So I started a crime scene log and stayed by the vehicle to make sure no one tampered with anything or anything of that nature.
When you said you started a crime scene log, you explained to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what that is and how it works.
Crime scene log, basically, for this particular incident, one of the officers that arrives on scene, preferably one of the first officers that arrives on scene, starts a log. The log basically starts logging people in and out that who enter the crime scene. The crime scene being will set up crime scene tape. If anyone enters the tape, will get logged in.
And did you do that in this case?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a copy of that crime scene log with you?
Yes, I do.
Could you be so kind as to name the individuals that are documented on your crime scene log?
Yes. First officer would be Officer Mengor.
When you do the documentation, do you put the times of which they enter and leave?
Yes.
Do you put a reason as to why they are on the crime scene?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. As to Officer Amangor, what time did she arrive?
I believe she was already on scene. She was the detail officer, so on the actual crime scene log, I just have her listed as the detail officer.
Okay. And the next officer that is documented?
Officer Torres.
After that?
Myself.
After that?
Officer Cox.
After that?
Officer Luna.
And in terms of the time frame that we're at now, are we still before 5 a.m.?
Yes.
So after Officer Luna, who's next?
Officer Malad.
Who else?
Officer Valdez.
Then the next person on the list, who is that?
Holly Henderson, who is a security officer.
Do you document that purpose there?
Yes.
With regards to the time out, for Officer Amangor, do you document on there what time she left at?
I believe she stayed past the time I was there. I was relieved by another officer on scene who took over the crime scene log.
And do you recall about what time you turned over the crime scene log?
I believe it was around 6:30.
Can you tell based on the handwriting on the log as to which entries are yours and which are from someone else?
Yes.
So continuing on to the next officer or employee of Miramar Police Department that you documented on the crime scene log, who is that?
Sergeant Stepp.
And what purpose is Sergeant Stepp in there for?
I believe he's one of the sergeants working at the time, and he was part of the investigation.
Okay. And the next individual that you documented?
Sergeant Bermudez.
After that?
Sergeant Worth.
And then who?
Officer Barrera.
After that, the next two detectives, who did you document?
Detective Bortlen and Detective Moretti.
And as to those two detectives, what are the times of arrival for Bertrand?
Time in is 5:53, and Detective Moretti was at 6:02.
After that, there's another officer that's listed. Who comes next?
Officer Campbell.
After Officer Campbell, is that still all in your handwriting, or is that going to someone else?
I believe this goes to someone else.
Okay. So you stop at Detective Moretti at 6:02 a.m.?
Yes.
Okay. So in terms of the crime scene, you said it was the area around the Jeep. Do you document each and every individual who's coming into the hospital?
No, I do not.
What types of things do you do to ensure scene security?
Crime scene tape, making sure people don't cross the crime scene tape, and then in and out of the hospital.
Did any civilians try and cross the crime scene tape while you were there on the outside?
There may be one or two that came up that we told them they can't come through.
And when I say civilians, are you including in that definition medical personnel and hospital staff?
Yes.
Any statements or recollection that you have of any interaction with Cortlen Henry, the driver of that vehicle?
I do not believe I had any conversation with him.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Others any cross to this witness?
One question, can I do it from here?
Yes, sir.
When you left at 6:45, roughly, it was still dark outside, wasn't it?
I don't recall.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Is this witness excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. You may step down.
Judge?
Agreed.
and gentlemen, we're going to take a short recess. Do not discuss the case. Don't form any opinion about the case. Don't allow anyone to discuss the case in your presence or no research. Just leave your notepads on your chairs. We'll be back with you shortly. Thank you.